Michigan Wolverines are your 2026 national champions. After a dominant run to the national title game with 90 or more points in each of their first 5 games, the Wolverines had to grind out a rock fight against the UConn Huskies. But as they've done all year, Michigan showed it can play any style at any time and still find a way to win, beating the Huskies 69-63 to claim the national title, the program's first since 1989. On a team loaded with star power was point guard Elliot Cadeau, who ultimately took home the Most Outstanding Player award at the Final Four. Cadeau had 19 points against the Huskies and helped step up on a night when Michigan's best player, Yaxel Lendeborg, was battling through injuries. It wasn't pretty for either team, both shooting below 40% for the game. But Michigan's size bothered UConn all night, just like it bothered so many other teams all year in the Wolverines' dominant 37-3 season under coach Dusty May. After the game in Indianapolis, the Free Press's team on hand recorded their instant reaction to the Wolverines winning the national title, the Big Ten's first in basketball since the Michigan State Spartans did it all the way back in 2000.
Hey there, everybody. Tony Garcia, Michigan basketball writer for the Detroit Free Press, joined by columnists Carlos Linares, Sean Windsor, on the Lucas Oil Stadium court field, where Michigan just won a national championship, 69-63 over UConn. Its first since 1989, the second in more than 100 years of program history. Did so in the second year under Dusty May. This team was a buzzsaw all year long. Far from it tonight. Their lowest shooting percentage tonight of the entire season. But Sean, what I wrote in my post game is sometimes that is the mark of a champion. It's not what you are when you're at your best. We thought and we felt we knew Michigan's best was better than anyone else's best. They were far from it tonight. Yaxel Lendeborg, hampered, injured, a shell of himself. He guts through, big shots when they need them, free throws, and the confetti was maize and blue at the end of the night.
He played bully ball, right? Bully ball a little bit, right? Putbacks. I mean, he ended up with almost 13 points, which is something considering the state. By the way, they were asked, Dusty May and a few of the players were asked in the post-game press conference about if they were surprised they won this way, this sort of thing. If you guys, and you guys did, you especially did, watched them play all year long, they won in all sorts of different ways. I mean, look, everybody thinks about what they did out in Las Vegas after Thanksgiving, winning by 120 points in 3 games. And they did have a lot of games. They scored 90 points in the first 5 games of this tournament. But they were, to me, still a defensive team first. All year long. It was really good at getting buckets. Right? The reason they won the night is because Terrence Reed, Connecticut's offensive ball, couldn't score. He had nowhere to go. Right? That was really the difference.
Well, it was a physical game. I mean, that was the thing. And Dusty talked to Andy Katz before the game and said he thought it was going to be a street fight, 12 rounds, and that's basically what it was. It was just, bodies all over the floor. We got to sit really close to the floor so you could hear the crunching. Morris Johnson Jr. was great, really physical presence. That's what they needed. And like you said, I mean, when you don't have your best shooting night, what do you turn to? And that physicality, the defense was really what pulled them through. That's a credit to really coaching and the players playing within that system and understanding, like, hey, we're not going to they didn't make their first 3 until 2 minutes into the second half.
No,
so
more than that, right? It was actually 12 minutes.
Yeah, 12 minutes.
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
7 and change. Yeah. It was a long way. 0-for-9.
12:56.
And they only made 2 threes, by the way. The second one was Trey McKinney's dagger.
Right in front of us. Yeah. Right in front of us, Sean. I mean, we could go on about the game all night, but I think we'll leave that for people to watch on BTN replay for years to come as Michigan snaps a quarter-century streak for the league. But let's zoom out. This moment as a program, 2 years under Dusty May, it feels like, I mean, there's going to be some turnover this year. Yaxel's leaving, Namari's leaving, Roddy's leaving, Cheddar's leaving. That's 4 of 9 rotational players, including the star. Adai's going to have questions. Morez is going to have questions. But I don't think anyone is going to have questions about if Dusty May can build this program into a winner. He's talked about people want to come here. People want to transfer here. Why wouldn't you? Look at what they just did. We think Elliott should be back. Trey should be back. But just, Sean, have you seen, I mean, it's a new era, but contextualize for our readers, since you're our savant, our elder statesman.
Very elder statesman.
I mean, contextualize what this means, given how many times Michigan has been this close. But in those other years, they were not this team where it felt like this should be the team. And this year they were.
No, it's funny. I talked to John Beilein at halftime, actually, who said this is
humble brag.
He did no. He said this was the best team he'd seen in 25 years of college basketball. I said, I hate to bring this up. Are they better than the 2018 Villanova team that beat you guys in the title game? He said, and he starts hemming and hawing. So look, we're going to think about that. Can I just say this real quickly? Dusty May and this group made this look easy. This is not easy to do. It is not easy to do. We're talking about the guy that coached up the road from where you're from, John Wooden. But since then, right? I mean, Mike Krzyzewski won 5 over, a 35, 40-year career. And I guess he did one back-to-back early on. And Dan Hurley didn't speak tonight, but Connecticut won 2 in a row, and he's been here 3 times in 4 years. But is that going to continue? The key is moving forward. Can Dusty May be a contender? Can you put yourself in a position? Even that's really hard to do. And that's what it looks like he's going to be able to do to me. Is he going to win at this clip? Probably not.
37-3 is exceedingly.
Will he give himself a look? Maybe next year, maybe a couple of years from now. Absolutely. Assuming he stays at Michigan, doesn't go off to the Indy.
Final
not
fours
North Carolina.
Final fours in Detroit next year, Carlos.
Yeah, I mean that's you'll be covering it, right? I'll be there.
I'll be there either way. They're going to rope me in, whether Michigan's in it or not.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for Michigan, and one of the things we talked to Ward Manuel, he talked a lot on the floor, and he said, I told him, hey, the coaches are in the portal every year, right? And he's like, hey, basically I've staved off Indiana and North Carolina in 2 straight years, and that's a good problem to have. I have a great coach, and he's desirable. He's going to be sought after, and I'm going to do my best. And Michigan has a lot to offer. But to your point too, with Dusty, is that the great thing is he's I think you called a searcher or something.
He's a basketball seeker.
A seeker, and
a little bit like the guy he coached against them.
Right, and he's not shackled to like one thing, one way of doing things. That versatility, that ability to pivot, I think, is what's going to make him good and keep the program good for a really long time.
It's what he did from last year to this year.
Right.
And I wrote that in my media column tonight. A little over a year ago, right? They lose in Atlanta. He loses to a team with more playmaking, more speed, not necessarily more size, because he had size last year with a different kind of size. But he thought, okay, we lost against Auburn, right? Bruce Pearl had the deep team. They went on to the Final Four, didn't win. And then the way they got beat up at Michigan State last year too. And he talked about that in the offseason. What do I need? So he went out and got it. He's going to do that every year. He's not going to always have a team quite like this. He's always going to want size, at least until somehow maybe the game shifts 10-15. But that's way down the road. But yeah, it's going to be different every year. And it's really going to be interesting to watch.
And who's to think he won't be on the forefront of that shift? I mean, right? I mean, this is the way he is. So he could be. But I want to move back to what you said, Carlos, about Ward Manuel. This was a trying 6 months for Ward Manuel and this athletics department, right? Everything that happened with Sharon Moore and his firing, and just Dusty May told us about sort of how it came to be, his hiring. He called it one of the lowest moments of his tenure when Northwestern beat FAU in the first round of that 24 NCAA tournament. It's like 3 a.m. He's waiting. They're delayed on the plane. And his agent calls him and says, hey, Ward Manuel wants to meet at 8. Dusty's like, no, I'm too tired. He calls back, how about noon? Dusty's, no, I'm too tired. Calls back a third time. How about 5 or 6? Dusty's like, let's make it 6. And I mean, obviously the rest is history, right? So you get credit for the hire. I don't know that we need to belabor it too much, but when we're handing out credit to Yaxel Lendabor for being the humble superstar, to Dusty May for the roster construction, for the staff retention, for the identification of the players, for all of it, it starts at the top with Ward Manuel as well, who he deserves a lot of this credit. He gets a lot of the ire. I feel he should get some of the credit.
Well, and think about it too. I mean, he hired Juwan Howard, right? Who worked out for a couple of years, and then it kind of went.
But that shows
sideways. And then figured out, okay, where do I need to go from here?
It's quite the pivot.
It is. By the way, the women's basketball team in Michigan got to the Elite Eight, and that just happened a couple of weeks ago.
Ward mentions that all the time.
Well, that's no small thing, and that's a young team that could be even better next year. We'll see.
And Frozen Four is on Thursday.
Can we just say before we go too, just this shift, at least it feels like it. I'm sure it'll cycle again down the road at some point. The shift to college sports in general.
Big Ten.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, the Big Ten has not just the Midwest anymore. A decade ago, it shifted out east, and the last couple of years, it shifted out again to your neck of the woods, to out west. So maybe the footprint has changed a little bit, but the Big Ten itself and the way they do business I mean, the school an hour south of us won a football championship not that long ago. Indiana, which is still more shocking than what happened here. UCLA just won, Big Ten UCLA just won the women's game. So what they're doing right now, it feels like a seismic, NIL and transfer portal, and they got the basketball coaches at the forefront of understanding all of that.
Yeah, and we'd be remiss if we didn't end this without shout-outs for Damari Burnett, Will Cheddar, the program guys who stuck it out when they easily could have gone and left. You could just see in their faces what it meant to them. Damari sitting next to a big national championship cutout. Will needing to say goodbye before I leave the locker room, just because we've seen him every day in hoop season or all these games and practices and press conferences for 4 years. He gutted it out, and he's reaping the rewards, as are all the Michigan fans, who I'm sure are fully sober on South University right now as we record this message.
Last quick question to y'all. What's more enjoyable, do you think, for Michigan fans, tonight or a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, when the football team won? With all of that stuff that went down that far.
It's a football school, a football championship.
And having to defend it, and the accusations, and all of that kind of stuff.
Maybe, but I also feel like if you ask Ward or someone who's equally invested, that's the line is, it's like choosing a favorite child, right? It's a really good problem to have to choose. Think if you're a junior or a senior in school right now, and your football team won as an underclassman, and now your basketball team's winning as an upperclassman. That doesn't happen. Michigan is the only school now to have won a national championship in the college football playoff era in both football and basketball.
Yeah, the last team to do that, school to do that, was Florida. We were playing with them, and they won back-to-back basketball titles, and
then it sandwiched it with the football.
When they beat Ohio State, yeah. Back when the South was running the show, which they are not right now.
It is the Midwest. It is the Midwest turn, and it is our turn to write. For Sean, for Carlos, I'm Tony. Congratulations to all you Wolverines fans. Thanks for watching.
For more on the game and Michigan's legendary season, check out freep.com/sports, where we've got all the coverage that you could ever need.